both in my department and outside of my department over the past few years. And the kinds of observations are very different depending on the subject, depending on the professor, depending on where they are in rank, and so on and so forth. And so in my department, for example, very often peer observations are used for assessment of teaching effectiveness for tenure promotion possibilities. Outside the department, there's some of that as well, which I've been asked to do, but then also the kinds of observations are to help faculty improve their teaching or just to get a sense of how well they're doing. And so there are all sorts of different applications for the peer mentoring process depending on the needs of the faculty and the administration. And I've been very happy to participate in all of those. So the first thing I guess I'm looking for is how engaged the students are with the faculty member, because engagement usually equals learning. And so if the students aren't engaged, then I have a sense that somehow the professor isn't necessarily reaching them. So that's the first thing I look for. The next thing I look for is what kind of techniques the professor is using to try to teach the students. Are they lecturing, just pure lecturing? Are they doing some kind of active learning strategies? Is it a combination? Is it a blended environment? Or is the class flipped? What is the nature of the in-class interaction? Certainly delivery is one thing that I look at. I mean, is the faculty member just standing in one place speaking with a monotonous voice, for example? Or are they moving around? Are they giving also the opportunity for students to ask questions at appropriate times? Are they watching the class to see how the class is reacting to what they're saying? Is there a dynamic relationship between the faculty member or instructor and the students? Those are some of the things that I'm really looking for. Because I think the one thing that really grabs students in a classroom setting is to know that their professor feels as much excitement about the material as they want the students to eventually have. And if they don't, then why should the students care? You know, so I look for those sorts of non-verbal cues as well as just the delivery. And the content, of course, is also important.